Peter McGuire, we're talking trends, we're talking big signals, and we're looking for trends that we can trade on. What are we talking about this week? Bear in mind it's Tuesday. We typically record on a Monday, so we've got a full week ahead of us. But today, Monday's happened. We've seen the overnight trade come in from Friday. We've seen the news hit the desks Monday morning. We've seen Monday happen. Talk to me about Tuesday onwards.
Well, good morning, Will. We just a quick snapshot as far as yesterday. We saw that Turkish Lira down about 15%. Erdogan, who changed his central bank president or central bank director, and in turn that created a fair bit of instability for the Turkish lira. So we'll leave that one alone and we'll move on. But that just demonstrates the volatility across FX markets. This week we've got a couple of Eurozone flash PMIs coming out. And then we've also got that rebound as far as crude oil prices, big sell-off Thursday. So there's an opportunity there, I think maybe a dollar or two uptick. Equities have marched higher, and generally it's not a bad week.
We're looking for big signals, we're looking for trading opportunities, and we're here to talk about markets. So what do we see, what do we act on, what do we do?
We've seen gold move up, which is not a bad move over the last couple of days. It's back up to around that 1730, 1740, so there's a bit of an uptick there. As I mentioned, crude, we're seeing that US dollar very close to that 92. Over that yesterday, about 92.2 US dollar index. So that's strengthened. It's off a little bit today. So there could be another move up or a continual move up leading into Easter. That's only Friday week away. Then the other side, of course, is the equities. They're choppy, but US equities were bid up yesterday. When I say yesterday, Monday, closing time about 8 o'clock in Sydney morning. So that hasn't been a bad sign, and we've got Fed Chair Powell coming out, the inflation numbers, gasoline prices putting on about $1 a gallon in the States, so that's not a good sign, and what impact that's going to have to global inflation. Will the Fed have to move quicker as far as ramping up interest rates? So there's a fair bit that I think this year is going to present to traders, and opportunities are certainly going to be there.
Here's a chart on screen talking about rate differentials, and they looks like they're widening.
Well, what you've seen there is a big uptick as far as as far as US bond yield. So there was, a strong push up, what we saw over the last month and a half, 2 months as far as US, and I think it took a lot of traders pretty much by surprise, but not unusual considering you had all of that, again, inflation and all of that resurgence coming through to an economy. So, look, interest rates are a good thing to keep an eye on, but when you're in stimulus alley, like what we've seen over the last 12 months, then it's not surprising.
Mate, they must be running out of ink there in the printing factories, that's for sure.
I think they're out of paper. Mate, maybe that's where Bitcoin are coming in.
Well, you've got to go green, right? So we sort of got to go start looking at some of these alternatives. Cryptos, Bitcoins, alternative forms of asset to trade. Mate, looking at the euro here, looks like speculators are still a little net long.
Yeah, it's been a great trade all across that euro. It's been just incredible, what you've seen as far as markets and movement, and that gave the traders a wonderful opportunity. We saw a high there around that, earlier in the year, that 123, and then it's down now at around 118.50. So plenty of movement. Again, the opportunities are great. US dollars all over the shop, whipsawing, and where you go from there, I think it's just keep an eye on the market and look at the big concerns as far as seasonality. So in other words, religious festivals, technical analysis, and of course the fundamentals.
Let's take a quick look now at the vaccination doses per 100. We won't spend too much time on this. It looks like, there's plenty still happening in the UK, followed by the US, Italy and Germany and France. Look like they're flatlining.
Have a look at Japan, not even off the launch pad.
Not off the launch pad. Australia's not yet even on the page. So still looks like there's plenty of vaccination work to do. Quick look here. We've spoken in Eurozone PMIs already. We've got some information coming out tomorrow. Look, I guess this chart's really looking at the manufacturing services and composite sort of lined up there.
Well, manufacturing will be around that 57, so it's bid up. You can see that growth there, and anything above 50 is expansion. Services just narrowing, around that 48.5, 49. But then you've got the composite there around that 46 handle. So, yeah, in some ways you've seen a really strong resurgence as far as manufacturing, and not unusual for an economy like the Eurozone. So maybe, just maybe, you might see better numbers come in 2 or 3 months' time.
Mate, look forward to seeing that. Euro USD in terms of a daily chart here, what are we seeing, Pete?
118,
curve off, really, aren't we?
Yeah, well, that US dollar strength, Will. So, that 118, 119, you saw that sell-off there going back the best part of around about a week and a bit ago, 2 weeks ago. It's been a strong sell-off, very, very big move to the downside, and that creates, again, opportunity. It seems to be consolidated at the moment.
I mean, look, we can take a quick look at this chart on screen now, Pete. We're talking about the USD and
the old Canadians.
The old Canadians. I wonder just how long we'll see this chart curve.
Well, you might see a push back up. You saw the Aussie off, those three commodity currencies, Aussie, New Zealand and Canadian, all got hit to the downside. So you might see a little bit further of a resurgence. As you've said, there's some good news coming into that Canadian economy. You might just see a rebound over the April-May period, Will.
Pete McGuire, thanks for talking to us. That's another wrap from XM.com.
God bless you, Will. Thank you.